Hi. My I lost my connection on the internet, and half an hour of videotaping was for nothing. Of course, I got to read the guy's thing again, and I don't feel like reading it again. There's a lot to read, for one thing. But what I'm going to read to you, I'll continue to read. I'll continue to read is it's called "I Left Islam." And a journey through Islam, the testimony of a former convert to Islam by the name of Abdul-Quddus. And if you want to read the first part of it, you can go on the internet and type into your web browser, Journey Through Islam, the testimony of a former convert to Islam, Abdul-Quddus, and you will see what didn't get recorded due to the computer, or due to the internet breaking, well, losing contact. So I ended up about half an hour of my life gone. So anyway, I thought I would continue with it and read it for myself, put it on video. If it breaks again, it breaks again. But if interested, you know where to see the beginning of it. Okay. All right. So I'll continue here. All right. Here it goes. Here. It's about right now. He's talking about how he when you. I'll let you. I'll let you know what he said here. He started off in a kind of a agnostic, and he got into Buddhism, and then he started. Well, I'll read the part where he starts getting into Islam. Okay. All right. Here it goes. Harboring an aversion for a decadent Judeo-Christian modernity. Here it goes. I'll go back even further here. All right, here it goes. All right. But by far the most stimulating and persuasive piece of all was footage of a talk titled Glorious Quran, the Liberator, delivered in 1987 by Yusuf Islam, formerly the pop singer Cat Stevens, at the University of Houston, wherein he spoke of the prophets and the struggle to present the same revelation to mankind. With a pointed index finger and green Quran in hand, he spoke with profound meaning, contentment, spirit, composure, and enlightenment. His gift left me in awe and craving what a billion Muslims possess, a sense of purpose. With assistance from cunning Muslim proselytizers, I deprogrammed my acquired beliefs and swallowed the Dawaganda. After one converts and embraces this religion, all previous sins will be blotted out. Even the name Islam, submission to the will of God, or Allah, seemed truthful and posed actual meaning. It posed actual meaning. The other religions were either named after a man or a tribe. Apparently the Jews were strict monotheists but had rejected Jesus, while the Christians accepted Jesus but then rejected Muhammad. At the time, Islam seemed a sure option, as Judaism was for the Jews and Christianity had a polytheistic trinity. Trinity. One common point delivered repeatedly to me was how only in Islam had a revelation been absolutely preserved in its original language, uncorrupted. No brilliant criticism of Buddhism were given. No Muslims knew what the Buddha actually taught. As I became increasingly impressed with the Islamic position on theism, Buddhism seemed odd with its absence of an omnipotent creator God and obscure purpose for his existence. I saw the superb design pervasive throughout creationism that pointed to a higher intelligence. Coupled with clinical depression and a loss of conviction, I became disillusioned with Buddhism. Vegetarianism became strenuous to endure. If Allah willed meat for our consumption, and I disagreed by being a vegetarian, it would put me with munafiqeen, hypocrites, since I would be protesting to have more knowledge than Allah al-Hakim, the Most Wise. With Islam, I could return to succulent meat-eating dinners and abandon my daunting dream of becoming a monk. However, now that I was admonished with threats of Al-Quran, I was fearing hellfire for believing yet denying the revelation simultaneously. Harboring an aversion for a decadent Judeo-Christian modernity, believers born in Christianity began to search for meaning elsewhere. The privileged vehicles facilitate to escaping a seen Western society where Buddhism, Islam, and the secular humanism. Islam, the fastest-growing religion, was an ubiquitous mantra. The vast majority considered converting to Islam following a relationship with a Muslim. When an emphatic accord with a Muslim peer ensued, exposure to Islam increased in addition to curiosity while submerging into a foreign culture. The media's popular portrayal of Islam would be contradictory with a first-hand experience of Muslims. Western society seemed to degrade women as exploitive objects, while Islam offered a woman security and respect, even though Muhammad said women are deficient in intelligence. When juxtaposed to our Christian environment, adherents to Islam exhibited uppermost consciousness of God. They appeared pietistic to the halal, permissible, and apathetic to the haram, impermissible. The foremost decisive factor captivating soul searchers to Islam is aversion for and disillusionment with the West, or dunya, this temporary world, as opposed to the hereafter. While alone, contemplating and pacing repeatedly back and forth, I sensed my existence in jeopardy, and so decided to plunge into Islam wholeheartedly. I rode my bicycle to the local mosque, with the ulterior motive of requesting books. This Islamic building was a fortress, surrounded by concrete and brick walls and metal gates. Since the main entrance was sealed off by a barrier, I attempted to access the masjid through a car entrance. The building's rear had an entrance for sisters only, so I ran away with lightning speed. Through another entrance, I wandered about searching for the masjid office. Inside the office, while looking at the security camera monitors, I awaited assistance while noticing the unclean and disorganized mess. A middle-aged committee member approached me, a man that would later order me to come to the masjid every day. I received some moderate Islamic material and a Yusuf Ali translation Quran. Out of fear of hellfire and with a growing belief in Islam, I confessed that I wanted to say the Shahada, declaration of faith. It was either during Asr, mid-afternoon, or Maghrib, sunset prayer, that I sat on the floor and viewed the men prostrate in prayer. That's why you had your patootie in the air. Just as the speaker announced a statement, someone grabbed my hand and then guided me to the front. The Pakistani Imam asked if anyone was forcing me to convert, to which I replied negative. He recited with me in Arabic and English the Shahada, declaration of faith, that there is no deity but Allah, Muhammad is his messenger. An individual yelled, Takbir! This signaled the congregation to chant Al-Akbar, Al-Akbar, Allah is the greatest, 2 more times. A procession formed within everyone, anticipated to hug the new Muslim. After the ceremony, I felt frightened, extremely drained, and disorientated. At the end was a fully bearded Muslim in Islamic wardrobe who asked the committee member of my previous religion. When told of my Buddhist past, he scorned twice. Quote, so he's a loser? So he's a loser? After mocking my conversion, he offered a hug. I later learned that he viewed me as an idolater that could never make it to Jannah, paradise. According to Al-Quran, Allah will never forgive shirk, associating partners with Allah. And quote, and whosoever seeks a religion other than Islam, it will never be accepted of him, and in the hereafter he will be one of the losers. That's Quran 385. On my first day as Muslim, even before taking my first steps, I encountered fitna, trials, tribulations, sedition. The Muslim that chastised me, who was perhaps of the Salafiyun, never was seen again. I was led into the masjid office to sign a document testifying to my Islamic faith in case I wanted to perform Hajj pilgrimage and needed verification in Saudi Arabia. Then I was given a prayer mat, many Islamic books, and Sayyid Abu Allah Madudi's Arabic English Quran with his famous commentary. This was a totally different ideology given to me before they knew I was with them, and not simply interested in studying the religion as a kafir, unbeliever, as a kafir. My parents' reaction to the conversion was tolerant, to say the least. After 2 days as a Muslim, I approached them in our living room and uttered, "Mom, Dad, I have something to tell you. You won't get angry, will you?" When they said no, I replied, "I'm Muslim." The excitement from their faces quickly vanished. Regardless, they responded with tolerance and acceptance, saying, "Are you sure? If that's what you want, it's your decision." With Islam, my only obligation the following year after my conversion was productive. That was productive. As a high school dropout without employment, all my energy was dedicated to worship Allah and learning the deen, religion, way of life. Day and night I resided at the local masjid. In my Arabic class, the teacher remarked about me, "I've never seen anyone learn it as this quick." I grew my beard unshaven like the Prophet, studied the Quran and Al-Hadith, would pay zakat, give sadaqah. Psalm during Ramadan, walk by foot to the masjid, perform all the fard, sunnah, wajib, nafil, duas, prayer, and basically do everything right down to Islamic toiletry etiquette. Successfully, I gave dawah, missionary activity, to invite others to Islam, and converted people to the religion. My conversion testimony was being read on Islamic websites. Most reverts were often paraded around as tokens. As trophy Muslims, our conversion to the religion apparently was validation for the insecure Muslims born into faith that Islam was true. Before going to sleep, I sincerely yelled, "Ya Allah, oh Allah, I am Muslim. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Thanks to Allah. I am safe and secure now. Don't dare ever leave the deen, boy. You're going to Jannah, paradise." I think I'll stop it there and begin part 2.